True value.
At Wrigley Field, every game is a hit. And here's a gift that's sure to be a hit with our fans. The first 15,000 fans attending the May 16th Cubs-Pirates game receive a Cubs keychain, compliments of Dodge cars and trucks.
Wouldn't it be great if you could control the weather?
You can with a Forever Storm Door. When you want to keep what's outside out, the Forever Door seals it out. But when it's time to let the outdoors in, it's a breeze to switch. Forever Storm Doors are built for every season and for every reason under the sun, guaranteed for as long as you own your home. With that kind of reliability, I can spend my free time on more important things.
For every season, for every reason, Forever Storm Doors by EMCO.
Well, there's a gentleman, and very fortunately, he was not injured by the head of Mark Grace's bat. So he's doing okay. We're set to begin the 6th inning. Harkey facing Jay Bell in a 3-1 Cub lead. Don't forget, Grace was the man who hit the ball in the stands the other day and was visibly upset when it hit a fan behind the Cub dugout. And fortunately, that fan turned out to be all right.
One of the reasons why Harkey has held down Pittsburgh through 5 is the fact that Martin and Bell have not gotten on base yet, and they're the table setters. You know, Bell the other day against John Wetland, he knew he was going to come to bat against Wetland in the 9th inning. He went to the audio-visual room in Pittsburgh, flipped in a tape of John Wetland, and watched his delivery, and noticed something where he was tipping his fastball, and said if he got a fastball, if his arm was in a certain spot, he would hit it hard somewhere. He got the fastball, got a base hit. Wetland did not get the save. And in this day and age of the electronic media, at least in that instance, it helped Jay Bell to get that base hit in the last inning.
Hit hard in the deep center field. Willie on the run, and he will get it. Leaping grab by Willie Wilson. May have banged his shoulder into the brick wall behind the ivy.
That's a fine catch by Willie Wilson right at the 400 mark, and Willie exercising that shoulder as he goes up, and he takes at least a double and possibly a 3-base hit away from Jay Bell. So Mike Harkey getting some fine defense behind him today, still has a 2-run lead, and a fine effort by 37-year-old Willie Wilson.
Fans standing and cheering Wilson's grab in the bleachers in center, and here's Andy Van Slyke already 2 for 2. I know people don't like to hear it, but it's a fact. This is the most dangerous wall in Major League Baseball. It's the only one in the National League that's not padded. People can say whatever they want about the ivy, and I agree, it looks spectacular. But there have been a lot of players here hurt, and hurt for a long, long time by not having any padding under that ivy.
There's no doubt, Tom, that it is pretty, and there's also no doubt that it does not give once you hit it. And the ivy gives you no padding whatsoever. There's just solid brick behind it.
Hammered down the right field line. This one will go all the way to the ivy. Van Slyke racing into second, looking at third. He'll slam on the brakes. Van Slyke 3 out of 3 today.
7th double of the year for Andy Van Slyke, and he drives the ball with authority to right field. Andy Van Slyke gets a slider and knows just what to do with it, and he's got that batting average now up over 300. We can't overstate the importance of Jim Leyland to this ball club, Tom, because he is one of the best, and when you look at his winning percentages against all the clubs in the National League, unfortunately for the Cubs, they stand right at the top. .611 winning percentage against the Cubs, tied with San Diego. St. Louis, Philadelphia, and San Francisco line up right behind. But Leyland and his Pirates have made life miserable for the Cubs since Leyland came into the league.
King hits it hard. Good play by Buechele. Looks a runner back to second. They're 2 away in the inning. Well, you know, the Pirates in their 3 divisional championship seasons have absolutely dominated the entire National League East. And you see the Cubs, St. Louis, and Philadelphia well over .555 in those winning percentages against those 3 Eastern Division teams. But last year they went 61 and 29 in their own division. They were 2 games under against the West.
Have to be careful with Orlando Merced. And that's exactly what you were talking about, Tom. In the division, look what the Pirates did to the rest of the East. They just murdered him.
2-0 now to Merced.
Orlando Merced
2 for 2.
has always been a great left-hand hitter. Now he's a switch hitter, but right-handed, he's not much of a factor. And all of his home runs in the major leagues have come from the left side. So you have got to be careful with this guy, especially with a 2-0 count.
Well, Harkey doing a good job. He didn't give him anything to hit there at 2-0. It's gone to 3-0 with a right-handed batting rookie, Kevin Young, waiting on deck. He walked him. First of the day issued by the Cub right-hander.
We'll take a look at Orlando Merced and what he's done. We talked about all his home runs coming left-handed. 16 of his 17 have been hit against the East. So now moving to right field from first base, he's got a new position to learn.
Pirates trailing 3-1, 2 on, 2 out. Young has bounced into a double play and grounded to first. Looks at a strike. Young came in with a couple of home runs and 14 runs driven in, but a very low average at 204.
Don't be deceived by just the 2 home runs, because this young man has a lot of power. Pretty good pitch right there by Mike Harkey as he tied up Kevin Young inside. He couldn't get the head of the bat out. Now he's ahead 0-2. This is when you want to take advantage of a young hitter. You want to throw something off the plate, preferably down and out of the strike zone. And many times a young hitter, over anxious in an RBI situation, is going to expand his strike zone, and you can get out of the inning without throwing one close. So let's see what Steve Lake and Mike Harkey have in mind.
Well, he sets up away and got him to go after it. Vizcaino plays to first in the inning over. Good work by Harkey. 1 hit. Pirates leave 2. They've stranded at 5 through 6. Go to the bottom of the inning. 3-1 Cub lead.
A participating advertiser in Cubs baseball is Diet Pepsi. You've got the right one, baby. Uh-huh.
I'm feeling empty. I'm feeling blue. I know it's over, and I know it's through. Man, now that's the blues.
Next time you want a Diet Pepsi, Ray, all you gotta do is ask.
Now that's the right one, baby.
To celebrate Buick's 90th anniversary, we proudly introduce the 90th anniversary LeSabre. LeSabre has a proven reputation for quality and the highest resale value in its class. Now you get all this Buick quality, comfort, and elegance at a special anniversary price. The 90th anniversary Buick LeSabre. Quality its competition just can't hold a candle to.
Picture yourself in one of these. You can still enter the Chicago Tribune Great Home Giveaway. In June, somebody's going to win a $200,000 furnished home. If you haven't entered, there's still plenty of time. Just send in the coupon you can find every day in the Tribune. If you have entered, enter again. The more you enter, the more chances you have to win. Pick up a Chicago Tribune daily and see if your dreams can come true in the Chicago Tribune Great Home Giveaway.
You're never too busy for good TV.
I watched a lot of Cubs games on Channel 9.
And a good afternoon to you. Gentlemen with the fire department right across the street out on Waveland Avenue. Getting a little tube time as well. So here we go. It'll be Sandberg against Steve Cooke. Strike on the inside corner. Rhino is 0 for 2. Got an RBI ground out to third base in the 3rd inning. Sandberg looking for his first extra base hit since returning from the broken bone in his hand, and this might have a chance to be it. Van Slyke going back at the ivy, leaps and got it. Another outstanding play by the Gold Glove winner, Andy Van Slyke.
And Andy might be hurt. It looks like the left wrist. And Tommy, we were just talking about the ivy and the problems outfielders have. And Andy Van Slyke, who seems to have at least 2 or 3 highlights every week, hauls one in here. And what a spectacular catch that was. And Andy Van Slyke gets a very big hand from the crowd. This is just a great effort.
You know, I was asking a number of members of the grounds crew last year about what it would take to put padding under the ivy and the vines. They said it would be a very detailed job. It could be done. You might have to sacrifice the ivy for 1 summer here in Chicago. And I know a lot of fans, I said it before, they don't like to hear it. As Buechele rips one that won't be caught by anybody off the wall, bounce all the way back into short center. But good defensive work by Merced to back it up, and Buechele has his 2nd double of the afternoon. But anyway, getting back to that point, I still think it's a good idea because the Cubs are going to have a young outfielder one of these days break a shoulder.
Steve Buechele crushes this ball to right center field, and then the ball takes a wicked hop. Had Buechele had just a little more speed, he'd have been at 3rd, but he'll take a double. 2 for 3 today, and the Cubs trying to add to their lead. 2nd double of the day and 9th of the year. Well, I agree with you, Tommy. If there's some way that they could make that wall a little bit safer, they should explore all possibilities.
High one hopper to Jeff King. He'll throw out Sosa, 2 away. Buechele still at 2nd base.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago National League Ball Club, which has a right of approval of the announcers and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Chicago National League Ball Club is prohibited.
Two down, runner at 2nd base, 3-1 Cub lead. We're in the last of the 6th. Maldonado singled his last time up. Good breaking ball by Cooke in there for strike 1.
Bullpen going for Pittsburgh. Right-hander and a left-hander getting loose.
Don't let your weekends get underway without being in the know. Tune in WGN's Weekend Morning News to get the latest news, weather, and a complete wrap-up of the previous day's sports. The Weekend Morning News, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 8 on WGN Channel 9. 3-1 game with the Cubs leading the Pirates. Buechele at 2nd, 2 men out. 1-1 to Maldonado. Fouled away. I'll tell you, Maldonado has been in a season-long slump, but he has been working as hard as anybody to try and get out of it.
He's going to break out of it. It's going to be against a pitcher like Steve Cooke, who doesn't have a blazing fastball and doesn't throw too many pitches inside to the right-handers. Andy hit the ball hard in the 4th inning, and 2-out RBIs are things that all managers love.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Maldonado's knocked in 7.
Best arm in the outfield belongs to Andy Van Slyke in center field. As we've seen today, you can run on Martin in left.
2-2 delivery. Lays off the breaking pitch. So now a 3-2 count with Buechele at 2nd base and 2 down. Steve Lake waits on deck. And here comes a payoff pitch to Maldonado. Oh, what a breaking ball, and strike 3 on the outer edge. 1 hit, 1 left. Carried back into 7th through 6. Still a 2-run Cub lead.
Want to break a European's heart? Let him test drive a Buick Park Avenue Ultra for 2 weeks. Then take it away. You see, the Ultra, with its supercharged engine, luxury appointments, and Buick quality, is built in such limited quantities, it's just not available in Europe yet. Want to break a European's heart? Let him drive an Ultra. Then, take it away.
For as long as there have been neighbors, there have been neighborhoods. And with them came a tradition of people relying on one another. And along with the post office and the grocer, many have come to rely on their neighborhood 76 station for quality gasolines. The same quality the winning drivers in NASCAR depend on us to provide. And how could we do anything less for our neighbors? 76. Go with the spirit.
For the third year running, the Montgomery Ward tractor varies the competition. Both tractors have 14 horsepower engines, electric starters, and 2-year warranties. But the Montgomery Ward tractor has more speeds. Shipped on the go, it costs $300 less. So you get more tractor. And now more credit, too. Bring in a valid Sears card and you can get a Montgomery Ward card in just 3 minutes. It's obvious who's blowing away the competition.
Things are changing at Montgomery Ward.
It's a great idea for Sundays.
Barn, that's an inspiration.
Andy Griffith, Sunday mornings at 11 on WGN Channel 9.
Hello again, everybody. Harry Carey with Steve Stone and Tom Brenneman as we go into the top of the 7th. 3-1 in favor of the Cubs. Congratulations to Kathy and David Applegate on the birth of Ashley. That is the sister of Sharon Panazzo, the fine publicity director of the Chicago Cubs. So let's see now. That makes her an aunt, doesn't it? Sharon?
It sure does, Aunt Sharon.
Aunt Sharon. Her niece is Ashley. Here's the pitch. Fouled off.
Jim Leland will probably be going to the bench because Steve Cooke is due up third here in the 7th inning, and the Pirates running out of outs as Mike Harkey so far has held them pretty much at bay.
Slot, nothing on it, 2. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hot shot, right field. Base hit. And here comes Carlos Garcia.
Bullpen up and going for the Cubs. It's Bob Scanlon, the ever-present Bob Scanlon. And looks like Paul Ossenmacher. So I don't know how patient Jim Lefevre is going to be with Mike Harkey. However, Harkey's had a couple of double plays behind him and could certainly use another one here, as this is the best outing that Harkey has had in a while.
Runner at first, nobody out. Carlos Garcia hitting .241. 1 out of 2 today. Bunts foul. He was bunting for a hit. You could tell by the fact that he tried to get a running start. Usually when they're mainly thinking of sacrificing, they square around and just make sure they bunt the ball. Cubs leading by 2 runs. 3-1. Vizcaíno has been very outstanding in this ball game. He's handled 7 chances and had 1 out of 2, running his streak to 15 games in a row. Here's a high pop foul out of play.
Usually you don't have to worry about Don Slott running, although he does have a stolen base this year. The Pirates have not been a running team. They've only stolen 15 bases. They've been caught 9 times. And their opponents, in fact, have more than doubled their output in the stolen base department. So the Pirates can't really run themselves into contention too often. And that's the 4th fewest in the major leagues, as you see by that graphic.
There's a pitch outside. Matt Williams of the Giants also has a 15-game hitting streak. So Jose Vizcaíno is tied with Williams for the longest hitting streak of the year. Low and outside. 2-2. Now here's the pitch. Here's an important pitch. He doesn't want to go to 3-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Time is called. A snappy ball game so far.
Former Cub, you're looking at right there, Dave Clark and Tom Foley, two left-handed bats off the bench.
Bounced and fouled, and he did not have a very good cut.
Another man on the bench, a former Cub, Lloyd Mclendon, although he's off to a slow start, and he swings the bat right-handed.
The outfield. Straight away, fairly deep. Garcia's had 2 homers. Swung and he fouled it off again and again. He kind of just threw his bat out there without much of a swing, as if to hope, be hoping that he fouled it off.
Steve Buechele well off the line at third. And the Cubs obviously hoping that Garcia does not pull the ball.
There's a looper for a base hit in the center field. Here's Slot holding up. And Garcia dumped a single in the short center.
That's going to be it for Steve Cooke, as Jim Leyland will go to the bench. And Jim Lefevre now wondering what he's going to do with Mike Harkey, of course, depending on who is coming in to pinch hit.
Bill Wagner is in the on-deck circle right now, right-hand hitter. Third baseman, outfielder, John Wagner.
So far, no announcement made, and with no announcement, Jim Lefevre's not going to do anything. He wants to see just exactly who's going to be announced as the pinch hitter, and now the conclave at the mound is broken up. Jim Quick coming back, and he's going to look at Jim Leyland, and now he does announce John Wagner.
And it is John Wagner batting for Cooke. And here comes Jim Lefevre out. He's going to make a double switch. He wants to talk to the plate umpire, Jim Quick. And so it's going to be Maldonado leaving the game. And now let's see, it's going to be Bill's Bob Scanlon coming in. Bob Scanlon coming in. And we'll come back with more following this message.
WGN presents Robert Redford, Jacqueline Bisset, Mickey Rourke, Ellen Barton, John Travolta, Deborah Winger, and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Indecent Proposals. A week of movies for people who know what they want and how far they'll go to get it. Starting Monday night at 11:30 on WGN Channel 9. In order to recognize outstanding high school students, Channel 9, Walgreens, and Lewis University present the Extra Effort Award. This week we salute Brooke Vandershoot of Lockport Township High School. Brooke is a gifted artist. She also acts as a co-anchor for her school's video club. And as director of the Clown Club, Brooke dresses up and talks to elementary students about the effects of drugs and alcohol. This Extra Effort Award was brought to you by Walgreens and Lewis University, for kids' sake.
Let's pause here for station identification.
This is WGN-TV Chicago, America's #1 sports station.
Steve Cooke pitched 6 full innings, allowed 7 hits, 3 runs, walked 1, and fanned 7. The 23-year-old youngster pitched a very creditable ball game.
Bob Scanlon comes into this game 1-2. The ERA 6.43. On for the 17th time. 14 innings, 15 hits, and 10 earned runs. And last time out was a tough one for him. It was the 3rd game in a row he had pitched in as many days. He didn't go any innings, gave up 3 hits, walked 1 man, and was charged with 4 runs. And there you see it right there. So an interesting choice for Jim Leyland, because he has a man with only 1 sacrifice this year. Wagner, not known as an accomplished bunter. And let's see what Leyland has in mind in a 1st and 2nd situation with nobody out here in the 7th.
So Scanlon, Buechele, playing shallow. So's Grace. The tying runs are on. Strike called over the outside corner. Scanlon, 6'8". Tall, rangy right-hander. John Wagner, an infielder, outfielder. Pinch hitting for Cooke. The play is going to be to first base. Whoa, nice play by Sandberg.
We know the adventures that Bob Scanlon has when he has to throw to the bases. And he almost gets Ryne Sandberg killed with Wagner going down the line. Anytime you have to cross over the baseline, you run the risk of a big collision. And watch Sandberg here. Scanlon throwing it on the other side of the bag, and Sandberg just barely able to get out of the way. So a fine bunt by Wagner. Good execution by the Pirates. And Scanlon gets the throw there. Very close.
A nice a cha-cha-cha step by Sandberg. There's a line drive deep left field. Derek May is there. A run will score after the catch. Al Martin hits Scanlon's first pitch hard, but right at Derek May. A sacrifice fly. 3-2 ball game.
RBI number 7 as Martin hits the ball far enough. And that's his second sacrifice fly of the year. And it's a one-run game. That run charged to Mike Harkey.
Well, we all know about the Pittsburgh Pirates, how they come roaring from behind. They've lost much of their roaring power, but they still can do it. And I imagine that is a trademark of Jimmy Leland teams. 1 strike and nothing. The tying run at second. Top of the 7th. Fastball is high. And Andy Van Slyke is next. Bell is 0 for 3. Van Slyke is 3 for 3. Ball 2 is high.
Well, if Scanlon doesn't get Bell, I don't think there's any way that he is going to face Andy Van Slyke. So that's why Paul Austenmacher continues to throw.
2 balls, 1 strike. Strike called over the outside corner. Well, the best thing in the world would be to get rid of Bell right now and have to face Van Slyke leading off with nobody on base in the 8th. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jay Bell. Now, Paul Austenmacher's only allowed 2 home runs this year, both by one man, the left-hand hitter, Darren Dalton. Strike him out! To end the inning. He buzzed the fastball by him. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. We go in the bottom of the 7th. Cubs leading 3-2. All right. Let me hear you. Okay, Gary, on 1, on 2, on 3. Take me out to the ball. Take me out to the
We're going to have to bail.
What about the Bud Light?
No time. There's only 1 left.
You take it. I'll never forget you.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Not so fast. Yes.
Chicago. Call 1-800-222-1200. America's Summer City. Don't miss it.
Saturday night on WGN, a dashing warrior battles the forces of evil to win. Oh, heck, I'm just gonna beat the pants off Rocky. So check it out Saturday.
Yeah, I got a lot of those, holy cow. All right, Blas Minor is in there now for the Pirates. Minor has won 4, lost none. In relief roles, a good curveball. Steve Lake leading off against them.
The Pirate bullpen has won 6 games, and Blas has won 4 of them. This is his 16th appearance. He's given up just 1 home run in 17 in the 3rd innings.
Started a swing. They appeal. He went around. Blas Minor, 27 years old, makes his home in Gilbert, Arizona. Oh, and 2 the count. Struck him out. For the 3rd time.
I think he fouled it off.
He fouled it off. Lake has fanned twice previously. Came within a fraction of an inch of making it 3 in a row. 0-2.
With the wind blowing out today, a pretty good job by both Mike Harkey and Steve Cooke. As Cooke fanned 7, gave up 7 hits in 6 innings, and Mike Harkey still can win this game, giving up 9 hits in 6 innings. But bear in mind, the wind blowing out make it a very tough day to pitch. And both guys held down the opposition fairly well.
Steve Lake, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Struck him out the 3rd time in a row today that Steve Lake has fanned, and each time he went down swinging. Here is Derek May.
Paul Ossenmacher continues to throw in the bullpen, which would lead you to believe that he's going to come into the ball game to face Andy Van Slyke and turn around Orlando Merced in the 8th inning. And that's not necessarily a bad idea.
Blas Minor out of Merced, California. Originally with the Phillies, then the Pirates. He was drafted first by the Phillies, then the Pirates. That evens a count 1-1. At Buffalo last year, he went 5, lost 4. 1-1 pitch. Good curveball. Minor. One ball, 2 strikes. Outside. 2-2.
Minor was used as a starting pitcher 8 times last year, but spent the majority of the year in the bullpen at Buffalo. Had a fine 2.43 ERA. He only appeared in 1 game for the Pirates last year.
Ball 3. 3-2. Willie Wilson will be next. Against Minor, Wilson would bat left-handed. Strike 3 call. And Derek May was on his way to first base. That's how sure he was. There was ball 4.
This one
From the roof camera, we're going to show you the pitch.
Pretty close pitch, actually. It looked like it might have been a little high. Derek May didn't like it, but Jim Quick thought it was good enough. And very close, obviously too close to take, as Derek takes a long walk back, and it's 2 strikeouts in a row for Minor.
Willie Wilson had 2 out of 3 hitting right-handed against Cooke. Now he's up there with 2 out, nobody on. short enough to bunt, takes the strike. Boy, this Miner's got a fine curveball.
Get a good look at Billy Williams, and to a man, all of the Cub hitters credit Billy Williams with working with him, and he's a man who should know a whole lot about hitting.
A little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, it's one thing to know a lot about hitting, and another thing to be able to impart it to your protégés, and Williams been able to do that.
Fouls it into the stand. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 men out. Well, there's never anybody that's grown up and knows anything and been around baseball at all who doesn't remember Billy Williams as a Hall of Fame left fielder. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ground ball, base hit. And Willie Wilson is 3 out of 4. And here's Vizcaíno. And I would imagine, while other men are fine hitting coaches too, I would imagine anybody in the Cub organization, anybody who puts a Cub uniform on, knowing how great Billy Williams was as a Cub, is much more receptive to his coaching than it maybe normally would be. 2 out, a runner on at first base.
Here's a good running situation for the Cubs. Miner's going to do everything he can to hold Willie Wilson close. Wilson is 2 for 2 in the stolen base department. The Cubs 20-5 this year.
Throw to first, runner back. Kevin Young, the first baseman, right-hand hitter, right-hand thrower. Holding Willie on. Don Slott giving the sign. A little bit low. 1 ball, no strike.
Miner sets up on the first base side of the pitcher's rubber. And that's a lot easier to throw the ball over to first base that way. You see the setup right there.
Vizcaíno waiting. Throw to first. Wilson, fine speed. I don't think anybody in the club's faster. Even Sosa, I doubt if he could beat him. Going from first to third. Now the throw, and he is back. Nice crowd on hand. And that goes for the rooftops as well. Left-hander and a right-hander. Stolen base leaders, Willie Wilson third among active players. One ball, no strikes.
So John Candelaria loosening up along with Paul Wagner.
The old and the young. To throw the first runner back. Candelaria's been around about 20 years. Wagner just came up last year.
Now, Willie Wilson is not privy to the signs, but the last sign that Slott gave was a curveball, and that's usually a pretty good pitch to run. Now he's changed it to a fastball.
One ball, no strikes. Fastball over the outside corner, a strike call. Now Vizcaíno, if he can hit one in the gap, Willie Wilson has the speed to score.
Look at Jim Leland and Ray Miller both giving signs.
Oh boy, Willie Wilson almost broke. And then Miner stepped off the rubber.
I'm wondering right here if he's going to give a pitch out. Pretty good time to do it. Take a chance on Wilson going.
Throw to first, runner back.
I think it was a pitch out called. If you look at Don Slott, he made a real quick move over the right-handed batter's box, and I think he might have expected a pitch out.
I doubt that. He wouldn't have thrown over to first if it was going to be a pitch out. One ball, one strike. Vizcaino, short lead. Low and away, ball 2. $27,637 paid today. Same 2 teams tomorrow night. A night game starting at 7:05. 2 balls and the strike. There goes the runner. Drill foul into the stand. 2-2. Willie Wilson trotting back ever so slowly, conserving his energy. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Throw to first. Steve Blass, one of the fine Pittsburgh pitchers of years back. He pitched for the Pirates when they had Stargell and Clemente and all that great team. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ball is low, and Mark Grace is next. 3-2, and now Wilson will be going with the pitch. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. There he goes. Struck him out over the inside corner. A curveball. And Vizcaino was called out on strike. And Miners struck out the side, but there was a hit in between. 1 man left on base. At the end of 7, 3-2 Cubs.
Get ready for a 3-ring circus.
I kill you, man.
Take WrestleMania. And the star power of Stallone.
Adrian!
Throw in a raving lunatic.
Hey, fool. You ready for another beating?
And you got yourself a fight.
That right hand hurt Rocky again.
You won't find this body slam on pay-per-view. Pity the fool who doesn't watch Rocky 3. Saturday night at 10:30, ringside on Channel 9.
Hit me.
Thank you. To all of you attracted by Buick's reputation for quality, but who think a new Buick is beyond your means, may I make the following suggestion? Go see the new Buick Skylark Custom. It is every bit a quality Buick. And as the most affordable Buick for 1993, it makes Buick quality more attractive than ever.
The first tickly itch of athlete's foot, Desonex. Do not stall. Desonex intercepts athlete's foot before it turns ugly, killing those grungy fungi before they get cracking and burning. There's a can at the store with your salvation in it. Come get it, or else don't blame Desonex. And for jock itch, Crew-X is the #1 cure. Crew-X kills jock itch fungus.
If you like baseball cards, you'll love Card Baseball, the new baseball board game that brings your cards to life. You'll use the stamps from your favorite cards. It's fun, easy to play, and perfect for anyone 8 years and up.
Available at participating Osco stores.
Harry Carey back at Wrigley Field. Paul Asemacher appearing in his 14th game. Will be the new pitcher for the Chicago Cubs.
Paul Asemacher, 1-0 with a 3.09 ERA. 11 2/3 innings, 13 hits, 2 home runs, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Andy Van Slyke, who's 3 for 3, does not hit quite as well against the left-handers. And the big thing is you turn around Orlando Merced, who's 2 for 2, and he doesn't hit all that well against the left-handers.
There's a curveball in there, a strike call. Van Slyke, 3 out of 3. Single to left, single to center, and double to right. Now that's hitting him everywhere. Swung and he missed the curve. 0-2.
This year, Andy Van Slyke has really improved against left-hand pitchers, hitting .314 against the lefties, only .287 against the righties.
A little outside. Steve Lake behind the plate, top of the 8th. The Cubs lead 3-2.
One big difference with Andy is that all of his power is against right-hand pitchers. He's hit all 4 of his home runs against righties.
Struck him out. And Asamaker strikes out Van Slyke. 1 out. And that will bring up Jeff King. Be careful here.
Good low curveball, and Andy Van Slyke just swings over the top of it. This is the man that you have to worry about, because King's hitting .360 with both of his home runs against left-hand pitchers.
1 out, nobody on. High pop fly on the infield. Grace is going to call for it. Asamaker got out of his way, and he catches the ball right near the pitcher's mound. Out number 2. Boy, that's getting rid of a dangerous guy, too. And here now is Orlando Mercedes going to bat left-handed against Paul Asamaker. Randy Myers starting to get ready.
Randy hasn't been in a ball game in 6 days, so he's going to be just about as strong as you can be. And he's going to come on to pitch the 9th.
Strike call. This is unusual. Orlando Mercedes, a switch hitter. A couple of times this year he's batted left-handed against a left-hander and had hits. So I guess that might be why he's staying as a left-hand hitter. There's Randy Myers getting ready. Two balls and a strike. 2 out, nobody on. In the bottom of the 8th, it will be Grace, Sandberg, and Buechele trying to pick up a little insurance. 2 balls and a strike. Ball 3. Merced's got looks like a Michael Jordan type of earring. There's a high foul ball into the stands in left field.
Well, the wind was blowing that ball back, and Derek May just kind of loped over there, and that one almost was blown back to the field of play. It did land in the first row, but the wind is still blowing fairly briskly, taking everything back toward the field of play.
3-2. Right down the middle, struck him out. Good job by Paul Asamaker. Nothing across. We go in the bottom of the 8th. Cubs still lead 3-2.
Matchlight charcoal has just the right amount of lighter fluid already added. That's why there's only one match from Matchlight. Matchlight from Kingsford.
One shot. All it takes for weeds. Roundup.
What? Oh, guard dog. Oh, very scary. Finally, the good stuff.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Can't believe he broke it at the company picnic.
Incredible. Our employee health plan covers him, right?
Not deductibles or co-payments.
So he has to lay out his own money.
Gaps in your health plan can be costly. Aflac can help. Aflac is a leader in supplemental insurance with 35 years of dependable service. Today, employees of over 80,000 companies count on Aflac for the peace of mind to get on with life.
Any ideas?
Yeah, Aflac.
Aflac, insuring over 35 million people worldwide.
Designing women on ex-husband.
What are you taking?
Tinsel vitamins.
Don't they lose their potency after a while?
Yeah, so did he.
Designing women on friendship.
All this friendship stuff is an excuse women use to borrow accessories.
Designing Women, weekdays at 2 on Channel 9.
Harry Carey back at Wrigley Field. Lloyd McLendon is now playing right field. And Johnny Candelaria comes in to pitch. He's almost 40 years old, stands 6'6". We had Bob Scanlon in at 6'8" for the Cubs. He did a good job. Here's the strike call. Grace leading it off. It'll be Grace, Sandberg, and Buechele. Candelaria used to be the star of the Pirates pitching staff. Years ago, he used to be a 20-game winner. This year, he's won none, lost 2, saved 1. That evens the count, 2-2.
John always slings the ball and makes it pretty tough on the left-hand hitters. And usually that's all he's in to face is one lefty.
Did he go around? Yes, he said he did. And Grace is called out on strike.
And I think that's all Candelaria is going to face. He was brought in to get out Grace. He did get out Grace. And that's going to be it for John Candelaria.
So that's an easy way to make a buck, ain't it? And we'll have more for you following this message.
Are they high? Yeah. Maybe lows. Heavy rains. Lake effect snow. Tom will tell you.
Weather made me what I am today. A weatherman.
Should you chill? Are you hot? Wear a bundle. Not a lot. Yeah. Tom will tell you.
A lot of people talk about Chicago's weather, but I do something about it.
Will it blow? Fair and fine? Want to know? Turn to 9. Tom will tell you. Yeah. But only on Chicago's very own.
That's right.
The Bulls, the Cavs, they're at it again. Do you know the score? Get the inside scoop on the playoffs, straight from the coach's mouth. No Bull with Phil Jackson. Sunday night at 10 after instant replay on Channel 9. Come to Preacher. Stay for dinner.
We'd be very honored to have you come for dinner.
Or just relax on the front porch and talk a little business.
Corporation's really growing, isn't it?
Andy Griffith, Sunday mornings at 11 on WGN Channel 9.
Listen to this now. Steve Cooke, who started for the Pirates, won 6 innings, struck out 7. Then Blas Minor relieved in the 7th. He struck out 3. That's 10. Candelaria just faced one man, struck him out. That's 11. And now the hardest throwing guy of the bunch of them, Paul Wagner, comes on with 1 out, nobody on in the bottom of the 8th.
Wagner throws a fastball between 91 and 95 miles an hour. And his manager, Jim Leland, thinks that one day this is going to be a very good short reliever. Right now, he's a very young short reliever, but he has spanned 25 men in 20 1/3 innings. A 1-0 record, a 3.54 ERA. On for the 18th time, and he has 2 of the 9 Pirate saves.
1 out, nobody on. Paul Wagner, 1-2, lost none. Tall, handsome guy to pitch. Curveball in there, a strike off. Wagner out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Went to school at Washington in Germantown, Wisconsin. Went to Illinois State. There's a strike.
That fastball 95 miles an hour to Sandberg. From Wagner, who appeared at Carolina, Buffalo, and Pittsburgh last year, where he was 2-0 with an 0.69 ERA. So 3-0, including the 1 win this year in his major league career.
0-2 the count. Outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Steve Buechele would be next. He's had 2 doubles today. Wagner was selected by the Pirates in the 12th round of the free agent draft in '89. This ground ball is sharp. Bell's throw in time. 2 out. And here's Buechele. And the Cubs' hopes of adding a little extra insurance have been destroyed so far. They will have Kevin Young, Don Slott, and Carlos Garcia coming up in the top of the ninth, all right-hand hitters. There's a strike call. Everybody expected a lot of home runs to be hit, but now the wind has died down, and there haven't been any of them hit. Randy Myers had sat down. Now he decides to get up again, make sure he's warmed up. No room for error. He'll be going for his 10th straight save.
He's been perfect. 9 for 9.
There's a pitch outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sammy Sosa would be next. Same 2 teams tomorrow night in a night game. Saturday night game. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Here's a look at the man, including spring training. He's only given up 2 runs all year.
2 balls, 2 strikes. He struck him out to retire the side. At the end of 8, the Cubs lead 3-2.
A participating advertiser in Cubs baseball is United. Chicago's hometown airline is proud to be the official airline of the Chicago Cubs. Chicago is America's summer city. Discover why by winning a trip for 4 to Chicago, including hotel accommodations and skybox tickets to see the Cubs play in Wrigley Field. You'll fly round trip on United Airlines, Chicago's hometown airline with over 1,000 flights in and out of O'Hare every business day. To enter, send your name, address, and phone number to Chicago, America's summer city, 2501 Bradley Place, Chicago, Illinois, 60618.
To celebrate Buick's 90th anniversary, we proudly introduce the 90th anniversary LeSabre. LeSabre has a proven reputation for quality and the highest pre-sale value in its class. Now you get all this Buick quality, comfort, and elegance at a special anniversary price. The 90th anniversary Buick LeSabre. Quality its competition just can't hold a candle to.
My customers look to me, to True Value, for something they can't get in those big warehouse stores. They know I'll take time to answer their questions, and I've got the right products. Real True Values.
Like the Thermos Thermal Electric Grill. The first grill designed around the food, not the fire, for incredibly moist, even cooking. Plus, it has a non-stick cooking grid and operates on standard household current.
You know, the name says it all. True Value.
Saturday night on WGN. It's the feel-good movie of the year.
And I'm gonna feel real good when I do a tap dance on Rocky's head. So cheer me on Saturday night at 10:30.
Harry Carey and Steve Stone at Wrigley Field. Boy, these Pirate pitchers, in 8 innings against the Cubs so far, they have fanned 12 men. The starter Cooke 7 in 6 innings. Minor in relief 3 in the 1 inning of pitch. Candelaria 1, the 1 man he faced, and Paul Wagner 1 in the 2 men he faced. So a total of 12 strikeouts in 8 innings. Not bad at all.
Randy Myers comes in, the ERA 142 on for the 14th time.
There's a strike call.
Only thing you worry about with Randy Myers is you look at his last appearance back on May 8th. Is the fact that he hasn't been in a ball game for 6 days, and you're hoping that he has the control.
Swings and he fouls it back. Kevin Young, Don Slott, and Carlos Garcia. And if anybody gets on, Lloyd Mclendon. 0-2 the count. Outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kevin Young rolled into a double play in the 2nd inning with the hardest hit ball he's had. Fouled it out of play. The Cubs shooting for a victory to put them over the 500 mark.
And Philadelphia's got a pretty tough night tonight because they travel to Atlanta and they've got to face Tom Glavine. And what a matchup that is. Terry Mulholland at 4-3. Tom Glavine 4-0. And so perhaps a chance to pick up a full game on the Phillies if the Cubs can win this one.
The pitch. Fouled again. Now Kevin Young seems to be having trouble getting around on Randy Myers' fastball. Everything he's fouled has been towards right field. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again, he fouls it in the right field stand.
Pretty good at bat so far for young Kevin Young as he battles Randy Myers. And Randy throwing that fastball 92-93. And you know that he is certainly very strong after his little layoff. And you look at the Pirates. When they don't score 4, they don't do very well. 0-11, scoring fewer than 4 runs.
Line drive right at Vizcaino. Young drilled one hard right at Vizcaino. That's the 10th. Let's see, 7. That's 10 chances, 3 putouts, 7 assists for Vizcaino at shortstop today.
There's a slider, and it's crushed right at Vizcaino, and a good at bat for Kevin Young, but Randy Myers wins the battle.
Here's a dangerous hitter, Don Slaught, 1 out of 3. Strike over the outside corner. Myers appearing in his 14th game. He's pitched 13 innings. He's fanned 16 men. Going for his 10th save in a row. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, nobody on. I hope that's right. 1 ball, 1 strike. Little outside. 2 balls and a strike. Randy Myers out of Vancouver, Washington. And a lot of people from his hometown are on hand for the weekend. Ball 3. Randy went to Clark Community College in Vancouver, and that's where he was a basketball coach last year, an assistant coach for the unbeaten girls team. Ball 4.
Now, we're probably going to see a pinch runner for Don Slaught. At least I assume so, because Slaught does not have very good speed, and he does represent the tying run. So we'll see what Jim Leland has in mind, and so far, nobody coming out of that dugout.
And here is Carlos Garcia. He's 2 out of 3. Low ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes.
Here was the one worry, because when a stopper does not get on the mound very often, the control could be a problem. So Myers battling his control. He's got plenty good stuff today.
High pop foul. If that stays in play, it should be caught. Sammy Sosa has it in foul territory. 2 out. And here's Gordon Mclendon. And you got a worry long ball here with the wind blowing out. But the crowd gets on his feet, hopefully. Mclendon hasn't hit a homer this year. That doesn't mean he can't hit them. He's 1 out of 7 as a pinch hitter, but he's in the game now. He's hitting 162 for the year.
He's done a very good job over the course of his career hitting against Cub pitching. So Myers wants to keep the ball away from Lloyd Mclendon. And the outfield very deep. They know they have to cut off the double. They're playing Mclendon a couple of steps to right center.
Line drive, base hit. Boy, he still can hit. Here comes a tying run around to third. And Derek May gets the ball into second base wisely, and will.
A rocket off the bat of Mclendon, who has really tormented the Cubs since they got rid of him. So runners at the corners now, but 2 outs as the Pirates down to their last out. And Jim Leland going to the bench. And it's Lonnie Smith.
Lonnie Smith, very familiar with these situations. He's 1 out of 8 as a pinch hitter. He's hitting .246 with 1 home run. You want to keep the fastball away from this guy. Runners at first and second, or rather first and third. The tying run at third, the go-ahead run at first. 2 out. The crowd on its feet. Strike called over the outside corner. Lonnie can hit the ball to the opposite field. They're playing him straight away. That evens a count, a ball and a strike. 2 out. Cubs lead 3-2. We're in the top of the 9th. 2 out, 2 on. Hold everything. Oh, a great save by Steve Lake. A pitch that went into the dirt. Almost hit Lonnie Smith in the ankle.
This would have tied the ball game. The slider low and in, and Steve Lake able to get in front of it and catch the ball.
Ball 3. And now you can bet that Lonnie Smith will be hitting if it's good. Strike 2 call over the outside corner.
Blazing fastball from Randy Myers, and Lonnie couldn't pull the trigger. And the Cubs now 1 pitch away.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Listen to the crowd. The bases are loaded. And Jay Bell, a fine hitting shortstop, coming up.
Bell along with Slot, very good clutch hitters for the Pirates. And now Steve Lake out to talk with Randy Myers. Jose Vizcaino coming in as the tension builds here in the 9th inning. Myers trying to preserve his perfect 9 for 9 in save situations. Billy Connors coming out, and a lot of pressure on Steve Lake if Myers goes to the slider. Many times it's in the dirt, and he throws hard enough where it's a very difficult stop.
You know, you just got to take your cap off. I never wear one, but if I had one on, I'd certainly doff it to Jimmy Leland. He's lost a lot of great stars. He's got 7 rookies on the ball club. 4 or 5 have played today. But somehow he always has a team that's at you all the time. The pitch. Fouled it back into the stand, strike 1. Now Myers has gotten ahead on a couple of hitters and eventually lost them. 2 on a walk, 1 on a hit. Mclendon, though, hit the first pitch. Strike 2 call. Now it's 0-2. Bases loaded. The crowd on its feet. Watch this one. Little bit low. Could have called that one a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Myers wanted that. But it just went a little too low. Hey, Cubs win! Cubs win! He struck him out. And look at Jim the favorites, Cartier, Billy Connors, and now the team congratulating each other. What a wonderful ball game. And Randy Myers ended it with a dramatic flourish as Jay Bell swung and missed, striking out. Wow. Had them all the way, Steve.
Outstanding job once again by Randy Myers, who did walk a couple in the 9th inning. But in the end, a 95-mile-an-hour fastball just blew away Jay Bell with the bases loaded.
And so the Cubs are one game over 500, and the Pirates are one game under 500, and we'll be back in a moment.
The Bulls, the Cavs, they're at it again. Do you know the score? Get the inside scoop on the playoffs, straight from the coach's mouth. No Bull with Phil Jackson. Sunday night at 10 after instant replay on Channel 9. Channel 9's going to show you an athlete so great, they didn't put his face in a box of Wheaties. They gave him his own cereal.
And I'm going to eat Rocky for breakfast.
Rocky 3, the movie of champions. Saturday night at 10:30.
It's amazing how it grew and grew. That little company you started in your garage. And now you've got an automobile whose drive for quality matches your own. The Buick Park Avenue Ultra. With its supercharged engine, the Park Avenue Ultra is proof you still take pride in what comes out of your garage.
I don't know the name, but I think it's the Empire. He's the one, okay, it's one that has no big thing on them. The fat, big one with the thing on him. I don't know the name of that, but the one that says, "You're out," and all of that. I think the name of him is the Empire. If the Cubs work a little harder, I just have a feeling that they're going to win this.
You'll find what you're looking for at Sport Mart.
Like Franklin's 13-inch softball gloves, available in leather or synthetic.
And that's just part of the Sport Mart advantage.
Saturday night on WGN, a dashing warrior battles the forces of evil to win. Oh, heck, I'm just going to beat the pants off Rocky. So check it out Saturday.
The Buick game summary, the victorious Chicago Cubs, 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors. The Pittsburgh Pirates, 2 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. The winning pitcher, Harkey, now 4-1. The loser, Steve Cooke, 1-2. The save, the 10th in a row for Randy Myers. He's got a perfect saving record. And the Budweiser play of the day, the first run batted in by Mark Grace in the first inning. A single to right that drives in Willie Wilson with the first run, and the Cubs were never headed since then. The Budweiser play of the game. All right, we'll be back now in a moment.
Basics shouldn't be boring. Clothes should be fun. Like my collection at Montgomery Ward. See? Things are changing. Too bad you can't wear them all at once.
Maybe it's the water, or something in the air that gives people here that thing we call common sense. You can see it in their faces, and the things they do, like going to 76 for their gasoline. It's the same quality the winners at NASCAR depend on. And people figure if it can satisfy the demands of racing, think what it can do for their cars. And that makes sense, which around here comes as no surprise. 76, go with the spirit.
What would you do if you won $4 million in lotto?
Go to a fat farm out in California, get real healthy, come back to Springfield and throw a big party.
I'd open up a nice countryside bed and breakfast.
What if you won $6 million?
I'd have to build a bigger house. Sure, all my kids would come back home.
I'm skydiving right into the Caymans.
In your dreams, whatever they be,
I'd see it all.
Dream a little dream with me.
I'm Jim Martindale, here to tell you about the one and only garden weasel. This 5-in-1 tool makes gardening fun and easy. The 3 rotary action blades mesh with the topsoil, uprooting young weeds and creating a beneficial mulch. Remove the center blade for hard-to-reach areas. The weasel is virtually self-cleaning. There's only one garden weasel, and it's backed by a 100% lifetime guarantee.
The Garden Weasel is available at Kmart, Sears, Walgreens, and Frank's. Makes a great gift for friends who garden. Get yours today while supplies last.
Now at Six Flags Great America, the all-new Batman Stunt Show. Explosive action, electrifying stunts, and all those wonderful toys. There's even the incredible Batmobile. All the greatest stunts Hollywood has to offer, right here at a theme park that's bigger than Disneyland and a whole lot closer. See the new Batman Stunt Show, only at Six Flags Great America. And don't miss the heart-pounding thrills of Batman, the ride.
Producer-director of thrilling Cubs baseball is Arnie Harris. Coordinating producer Bill Barson. And our associate producer, Joe Cornell. Our next telecast on Channel 9 will be between the Pirates and the Cubs tomorrow night. Our telecast begins at 7 o'clock Chicago time. Stay tuned now. Steve will have the 10:30 show coming up in a moment. Harry Carey from Wrigley Field, where the final score, thriller, the Cubs win it 3-2. So long, everybody.
Chicago Cubs baseball on Channel 9. The Cubs are brought to you by Budweiser, fresh, pure, natural. Proud to be your Bud. True Value Hardware Stores. Got a tough job to do? You can do it with True Value Hardware Stores. Buick and your local Buick dealers. Remember Buick, the new symbol for quality in America. Aflac, insuring over 35 million people worldwide. And by your local 76 dealers, who invite you to go with the spirit of 76.
Not many things are more Chicago than United, but there are a few. United Airlines, proud to be Chicago's hometown airline. Come fly the airline that's uniting the world. Come fly the friendly skies.
I'm here in this auto graveyard to demonstrate New Finish, the once-a-year car polish. Simply wipe it on and wipe it off. There's no rubbing, no buffing. Look how New Finish restored a deep, hard shine to even this weather-beaten old car. You see, New Finish is not a wax. It's a space-age polymer formula that shines better and lasts longer.
And here's proof. An independent laboratory tested New Finish against several leading brands of car polish. After simulating a full year of varying weather, New Finish had the highest gloss and actually retained 90% of its original shine.
Next, we polished this car with New Finish and ran it through 52 car washes. After all the harsh detergents and scrubbing, the water still beads. You'll find New Finish is great for fiberglass boats, too. So get New Finish, the once-a-year car polish. And between polishings, use New Finish car wash to clean your car.
New Finish Liquid, rated #1 by leading consumer magazines, available at Sears, Pet Boys, Rite Aid, True Value, Ace, Western Auto, Eckerd, Walgreens, Kmart, and other leading stores.
The 10th inning is brought to you in part by your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Welcome to the 10th inning. Today was a good one, and maybe lost in the shuffle was the base-running play by Jose Vizcaino. He took 2 bases on a sacrifice fly and scored what proved to be the winning run on a ground ball in the infield. And so the heroics of Vizcaino, who extended his hitting streak to 15 games, will not go lost when we show you the highlights. Coming up after these messages.
Are they high? Yeah. Maybe lows. Heavy rains. Lake effect snow. Tom will tell you.
Weather made me what I am today. A weatherman.
Should you chill? Are you hot? We're a bundle. Not a lot. Yeah. Tom will tell you.
A lot of people talk about Chicago's weather, but I do something about it.
Will it blow? Fair and fine? Want to know? Turn to 9. Tom will tell you. Yeah. But only on Chicago's very own.
That's right.
Every year, 10 million third-world children don't live to see their 3rd birthday. Those who do live beyond that ripe old age here will grow up in dung heaps like this. Happy birthday. I've been asked if I've ever gotten used to this misery. How does a human being with a heart get used to this? The heartbreaking crying of a 2-year-old so undernourished her teeth are coming loose. The sight of a child so starved he's too weak to cry. And one so dehydrated by diarrhea he doesn't even have the tears to cry with. No, I can't get used to this any more than you could, but we can get rid of it. Yes, we can. You and I and CCF. Your 70 cents will put life-giving medicine into a dying little body, nourishing food into a little stomach, education into an impoverished little mind. Can you think of a better reason to call CCF right now than the chance to give some child the best birthday gift of all? A life of many, many more birthdays. Right, Helen?
Can get Plymouth Voyager, the #1 selling minivan in this town for 9 straight years, at savings of up to $2,600 during the National Minivan Sale. Why even consider anything else?
In the first inning against Steve Cooke, Mark Grace leads off the scoring, driving the ball through the right side. It's 1-0 Cubs. That's RBI number 30 for Grace as Willie Wilson scores. Then in the second inning, Mark Grace once again. Well, we'll make it the 3rd inning then, as he lifts a fly ball to left field. Now on this play, Jose Vizcaino is on first base. Here comes Willie Wilson scoring his 2nd run. Nobody covering 3rd, and Jose goes all the way to 3rd, where he scores on this infield tapper by Ryne Sandberg. Only the 5th run driven in by Sandberg, but that proves to be the game winner as the Pirates try to fight back. In the 4th inning, they cut the lead to 3-1. Orlando Merced singling to left field, and the Cubs now lead by 2. Al Martin comes up in the 7th. Bob Scanlon on a sacrifice fly to left field, but that was it because Randy Myers came on for his 10th save of the year. 10 in a row, and Mike Harkey the winner. And the last pitch of the ball game with the bases loaded, Jay Bell up. A 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and Jay Bell can't catch up with it. Randy Myers blows him away, making a winner of Mike Harkey, and the Cubs go over 500. And we'll be back with a final word after these messages.
Success in life is the result of preparation and having the right tools. To become the person you've always wanted to be, select Nordic Flex Gold. You provide the effort, and Nordic Flex Gold provides the means to your personal success. You want to develop the poise, confidence, and energy that come from a strong, toned body. And just like these people, you can have that body in just 12 weeks with Nordic Flex Gold. Some people spend a lifetime wishing for a great body. Now with Nordic Flex Gold, you can unlock your potential in as little as 12 weeks. Nordic Flex Gold features linear motion and patented isokinetic resistance, providing results fast, up to 70% faster than with rubber band machines or even free weights. Now is the time to act. Great muscle tone, 3 times faster fat loss, increased energy, as well as poise and confidence can all be yours in just 12 weeks with Nordic Flex Gold. To order or for more information, call now.
She lived for the sun.
He wanted only the best. Together, they found everything they desired. The Chrysler convertible sale. She discovered the thrill of sun-drenched driving. He found the best, the touch of glove leather. They reveled in America's best-selling beauty. They reveled in the rebate. They reveled in the savings. 2,000 on selected models. The Chrysler convertible sale. Don't miss it at your Chrysler Plymouth dealers now.
Tomorrow, it's a rare Saturday night game, and we'll see you right here at 7 o'clock. So long, everybody.
Guests on the 10th inning will receive a handsome Fendi wristwatch from Henry K. Jewelers, 547 North Michigan Avenue, or the third-level Water Tower Place.
Allison racing family of NASCAR copes with the loss of a second son. More rain predicted for the flooded Midwest, and back home in Kentucky, Cindy will let us know if there will be a break in the sweltering temperatures here in Kentucky. Join us.